Okay, so after that divisive ending to Game of Thrones, a lot of us thought, well, that's it. The magic of Westeros is gone, right? But now, this new prequel, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, is, well, it's quietly winning everyone over, even the biggest skeptics. So how's it doing it? Today, we're going to break down the brilliant, back-to-basic strategy that's making this show such a massive hit with both critics and fans.
I mean, just look at this. This show is absolutely brilliant. You just don't see praise that's this direct, this confident, especially just a couple of episodes in. So what's the secret sauce here? How did this show pull it off when so many of us thought it was doomed to fail? Especially after the original series left such a bad taste in so many mouths.
And let's just be real for a second. The finale of Game of Thrones. It left a lot of us feeling, well, as one critic put it, very damaged. It's a perfect word for it, right? There is this massive skepticism, this feeling that the magic was just gone. Poof. So if you've been kind of hesitant to jump back into Westeros, trust me, you are not alone. But that's exactly what makes the success of this new show so amazing.
So why is it working so well? How do they manage this brilliant return? Well, in an age where we're just drowning in sequels and prequels with these insane expectations, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is succeeding by doing something, honestly, almost radical. It's going back to basics, and it's this powerful reminder that, you know what, you don't always need some world-ending epic threat to tell a really, really compelling story.
And that all comes down to the power of simplicity, a real return to pure storytelling. Really, the heart of this show's success is just that. It's simple. It has this focused, super straightforward narrative, which is so refreshing. This isn't some sprawling, complicated epic about who gets the Iron Throne. No, this is a story that's way more personal, and because of that, it hits so much harder.
I mean, look at the difference here. On one hand, you had Game of Thrones, right? All complex politics, grand stakes, a million characters, betrayals everywhere. It was a whole thing. But then you have A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which is just a chivalrous quest, a classic hero's journey. It strips all that other stuff away to focus on something pure.
And really, that's what it all boils down to. It's a story of a good dude just trying to do the right thing. I mean, think about that. In a universe that became famous for being so morally gray and ambiguous, we now get a story about a fundamentally good person, Sir Duncan the Tall, who just wants to do good. It's such a simple idea, but the way they do it feels, I don't know, almost revolutionary for this world.
And this simple story really works, because all the pieces of the formula are just perfect. You've got an instantly likable main character in Dunk. You have a genuinely amazing child actor playing Egg, his squire. Seriously, the kid is phenomenal. And you have all these other characters that you can actually genuinely root for. And it's all built on this deep, deep respect for George R.R. Martin's original books.
Okay, but having a great formula on paper is one thing. It's the execution that matters. And man, this show delivers these incredible, what I'm calling goosebumps moments. It's not just telling a good story, it's creating these specific, powerful scenes that are having a real physical impact on people watching.
Let's talk about the knighting of Sir Duncan. Okay, so after this absolutely brutal trial and tournament, Dunk is finally knighted by Lionel Baratheon. Now, in so many other shows, this would just be a plot point, right? A box to check off on the way to the next thing. But here, oh, it was so much more than that.
Yeah, it actually meant something. The whole ceremony just carried so much emotional weight. You could feel all the layers in that scene. You felt the respect that Dunk had earned, the sheer honor of what was happening, the gravity of the whole moment. It wasn't just him getting a title, it felt like a real transformation and one he had completely 100% earned.
And that's the result, right there. People saying, I had goosebumps on my back for a long time with this show. That's not just someone saying, oh, that was some good writing. No, that's a physical reaction. People were getting actual goosebumps. That's when you know a show is connecting on a way deeper, almost primal level.
And then there was that incredible tension. Remember that scene? Dunk is completely trapped, cornered by a Targaryen prince, and there is just no way out. You're sitting there watching, literally thinking to yourself, how the hell does he get out of this? It felt like a genuine, honest-to-God dead end.
And then the reveal. The kid, Egg, he isn't just some orphan squire. His name is Aegon Targaryen. And in that one instant, the entire show changes. Your heart just drops into your stomach because you realize this isn't about some Hedge Knight's life anymore. He's protecting a future king. The stakes just went through the absolute roof.
So when you have storytelling that good, it's no surprise that it's fueling some serious fan engagement.
We're talking about the art of adaptation here. See, the show's success isn't just about what we see on screen. It's about how this really smart, really faithful adaptation is bringing that old-school passion back to the fan base.
Look, at the end of the day, it's succeeding because it's doing the book justice, plain and simple. For anyone who's a longtime fan of the source material, that's everything. The creators have shown they have a massive amount of respect for the novellas, and you can see that respect being paid back with some intense fan loyalty.
So what does a healthy, fired-up fan base actually look like? Well, for one, you have people quoting dialogue that's been lifted word for word straight from the book. But it goes deeper. You have fans noticing these impossibly small details, like a tiny birthmark on a fortune teller's cheek, and then immediately going online and spinning up these wild theories connecting her to a super deep lore character like Bloodraven. It's amazing.
And honestly, that quote just says it all, doesn't it? When your audience is freeze-framing episodes, spotting birthmarks, and debating obscure lore online, you've won. That's it. As one reviewer so perfectly put it, that's the health of your fucking show. But okay, there's one last piece to this whole puzzle, and it's something that has nothing to do with the script or the actors. It's all about the release schedule. Yeah, the simple decision to release this show week by week is turning out to be a huge part of its success.
Just think about it for a second. When a show drops everything at once, the binge model, it's everywhere for a weekend, maybe a week, and then it's gone. Poof, vanished from the conversation. But with a weekly release, a show gets to build momentum. It gets to live in our heads, to stay part of the conversation for months, and that lets all the anticipation and theories really grow. And because of that, something really fascinating is starting to happen. The episodes are pretty short, right? So a new viewing habit is popping up. When a new episode is about to drop, people are actually going back and rewatching the last one first, and then they watch the new one. It's this cycle that's creating insane rewatchability and just pulling people deeper into the story.
So at the end of the day, the weekly model isn't just a schedule. It's become an active ingredient in why the show is so good. It is directly making the viewing experience better and building a much deeper connection to the whole story and to these characters.
Which really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? Is this how you save a franchise? By stripping away all the complexity, by focusing on a simple character-driven story, by actually respecting the source material, and by letting it all breathe week to week. Have they accidentally stumbled upon the perfect blueprint? Is this how you bring back a massive franchise that so many of us thought had completely lost its way? It's a pretty interesting thing to think about.